Welcome. I'm here today with Ruby Singh, Vice President for Education and Training with AMCP, who's going to talk to us about the upcoming AMCP virtual meeting and how it came to be. Welcome, Ruby.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary. It's a pleasure to meet you and be here today.
Okay. So, like a lot of other scientific and industry meetings we've had this year, AMCP is going virtual in the time of COVID. So, Ruby, if you could tell us a little bit about the process that AMCP used to make this decision and the process of creating the program that people can look forward to next week.
Sure. So, Mary, we actually looked at these as two sort of separate events, if that makes sense. We obviously canceled AMCP 2020, our annual meeting, and that was a decision obviously based on the current situation at hand. But so that decision was definitely a difficult one, but obviously warranted. And what we sort of came back with is after we canceled the meeting was, wow, we, one, have a lot of timely programming that we had planned, and two, what can we do for our members during this time of adversity? We felt that, we still have to offer education. We still need to support what they're doing out in managed care. So what can we do? And so we sort of decided to use a platform that we're very familiar with, our members are very familiar with, which is our webinar platform, and decided that we would take the educational content, at least 10 sessions that we planned, repurpose those because the e-learning days are shorter programs than what we would normally have at our meeting, and create some sort of event out of that. I don't think that we would be able to say that the e-learning days would be a substitute for a live national meeting. That there's a lot of networking and business meetings and things that are occurring that we just wouldn't be able to do on a virtual platform. So we really just teased out that piece of the educational programming, and then also wanted to there's so many rich posters and researchers that provided such great content, and we didn't want to lose that. So we were able to pull through the poster program on a virtual platform, and we are proud to say that we have over 230 poster presentations that have now been uploaded onto our site. So I think we tried to create an opportunity for our members to just be able to get some education this spring. But I would say it was very different than what we had planned to do for the annual meeting.
Yeah. So for you probably have two groups of people who are going to engage with your content next week. You'll have people who are used to going to the annual meeting, and you may have new people who've never engaged. So what can each of those two groups do to best engage with the virtual content next week?
Sure. So I think that our members in general, and even non-members, are used to our webinar platform. So I think regardless of whether you've attended a live national meeting or not, we do feel that the webinar platform is the same, and it's a familiar same. So I don't anticipate that that's going to change too much for our members in terms of engagement and how to interact with these days of learning that we have. But I think for people who may not have ever come to a national meeting, I hope that they experience cutting edge education, know that they're not alone, and that there's a lot of people out there that are experiencing the same challenges in practice that they are. And in terms of other ways to engage with us at AMCP, I think that our website offers a great opportunity throughout the year, but certainly during these e-learning days, to provide input to us, to contact staff. But also, we just launched our COVID-19 Resource Center, which I think is a fantastic way for people to keep up to date with what's happening out there today. We know it changes day to day, hour to hour. And then also we do have some open-ended surveys that we're asking for feedback and what's happening so that we can respond to that in the best way possible.
Great. Well, I had a chance to go through some of the presentations to develop my own plan for coverage. And I noticed that you have one presentation right away Monday that offers insights as to how the COVID-19 pandemic is going to affect the industry. Can you give us maybe a preview of what we expect from that presentation?
Sure. And Mary, I'm really excited about this particular session. It's the session, the one that kicks off the whole e-learning event, is a 2019-2020 marketplace or pharmaceutical marketplace trends. And it's features our speaker, Doug Long, who has done an annual presentation for us. And Doug and I had the chance to speak a couple of weeks ago, and we talked a lot about how COVID-19 has really impacted marketplace trends. And so he really has some preliminary data that he wanted to share, and I think it'll be really interesting to see. He gets data pretty regularly, so I don't have the exact information that he'll be presenting just yet because he's waiting to get the latest. But I think things that you can expect to see would be how has telehealth really impacted our current claims, how people are being treated. I think it's had a huge impact on managed care resources and tools. And I think that's a lot of where he was going. And I think you're also going to see huge prescribing changes that have occurred because of legislative changes. So I think those are the things that he's going to be highlighting in his presentation.
I'm looking forward to that one in particular.
Yeah.
And Digital Therapeutics has a big presence at this meeting. Can you talk about the emerging interest in this product class?
Absolutely. So digital therapeutics has been an area of interest for AMCP and I think managed care professionals for quite some time. We were fortunate at AMCP to hold a stakeholder forum back in September of 2019 that really provided us with a lot of insight as to what the need is for education in particular on digital therapeutics from the managed care perspective. And so we were able to offer some programming at Nexus 2019 and just recognize that our members really wanted more. So we had planned an entire track at the annual meeting on digital therapeutics and weren't obviously able to do that. So we selected 2 sessions from the programming that we are able to offer during the week next week. And I think that it will really start to help our members really understand this therapeutic class better and how they as managed care professionals will be able to understand how to use the evidence for these better and how to make formulary decisions.
Great. Well, even without a pandemic, healthcare policy would be a hot topic because we're in an election year. Mm-hmm. So what are some highlights we can look forward to from the health policy offerings at the virtual experience?
Sure. So I think that the health policy, the original intent for that session was to be looking at an election year, much to what you just said, and what can we look forward to in terms of the sort of proposed legislation or policy changes in healthcare and how that would impact managed care pharmacy. And that was the original intent of the session. And I expect that that's probably going to be similar to the session that we'll have next Friday. But I do think that there will also be discussion about drug pricing reform and things that are really going to be essential for managed care pharmacy moving forward. So that's what I'm expecting. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some, if John O'Brien did speak to some of the things going on, obviously, in today's world with COVID-19 and so on as well.
Great. Is there any other sessions that you want to highlight?
I mean, I'm very excited about the week as a whole. I think that we are really looking forward to the sessions that you've already mentioned, but then we have sessions on oncology, cannabis. There's one on digital engagement that I think, given the world that we're in today, is so important for us to know how to engage digitally. So I think that's going to be a really important session and that was a nice ad that we were able to do next week. I also think the virtual poster program is going to be fantastic. I think we're getting a lot of really positive feedback on that. And then we have the 4 satellites that'll be available Monday through Thursday from 5 to 7. And those are free for both our members and non-members. So great educational opportunities even outside of our webinar program.
Terrific. Well, Ruby, thank you so much for joining us. And what's the best way if someone wants to participate for them to engage and take part in AMCP?
Sure. So we have a website that's available with all of the session information, and that's at amcp.org/e-learning days. And there's a schedule there, and all of the sessions have links to register for the individual webinars. We will also make the content available on amcplearn.org in about mid-May. So for those, I mean, it's a lot of programming in 1 week. So for those who want to kind of participate later, there is that option as well.
Great. Well, Ruby, thanks so much for joining us and looking forward to next week's meeting.
Well, thank you so much, Mary. It was a pleasure speaking with you today.
Great. Thank you.